At Cornell University, they have an incredible piece of scientific equipment known as the tunneling electron microscope. Now, this microscope is so powerful that by firing electrons, you can actually see images of the atom, the infinitesimally minute building block of our universe. Roger, if I were using that microscope right now, I still wouldn't be able to locate my interest in your problem.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away,
So, before anybody says anything, no, this woman does not live rent-free in my head, so that's already a stupid thing to accuse me of. I wanted to talk a little bit about the black pills in general and fandom, and the reason why I do is because we have a problem, and it's either Star Wars' Dead Derangement Syndrome, started by Nerdrotic, or Kathleen Kennedy Derangement Syndrome. Both are basically the same thing. They manifest their ways in different. They manifest themselves in different ways, but they come from the same problem. Disney's inability to be transparent with the fans about what's going on, because they're worried about looking sexist. They're worried about their shares. They're worried about what the board will think, and they're worried about what investors would think. Now, someone who is an investor, I would like to say, getting rid of her and making sure everybody knows would probably actually help your stock, right? But when you're a media company and you are part of the Hollywood inside the film industry, that crowd, you are going to be very aware of the issues that firing her would bring up, namely the mythology that she's the first female president of a film studio. That's bullshit. Sherry Lansing did that. Lucille Ball. There have been women running studios since the dawn of the film industry. So that is mythology she made up on her own, and idiots who don't really feel like doing their due diligence have allowed her to turn it into part of her press package. The other thing, so there's that. The other thing is more complicated. It questions Disney's, and Bob Iger mostly, ability to choose a good leader for one of their subsidiaries. So it also questions leadership at Disney. But since Matt Bellany announced in February that she was leaving, and he had 3 different people at Lucasfilm telling him that, we probably know the names of at least 2. And then we, of course, have Sparrow, who they have basically been keeping us up to date on what's really going on inside the company. We know she's leaving. And, by common sense would say she's 71 years old. Her time on Earth is a lot shorter now. What's the movies ahead of her are a lot fewer in number than the ones coming behind. Then she has more movies behind her now. Let's put it that way. Sorry for being so inarticulate. And, you know, I look at the black pills and it's like, first off, attacking, and they are, Matt Bellany and calling him a liar, which is what both Gary Beekler has done and WDW Pro, whom is who we think he is, and I don't feel like being gaslit by the mythology he's building up around himself, so don't tell me about him. Okay? I don't need to know. I know all I need to know about him. And his constantly made up headlines. He got dragged. This is Pro. He got dragged by one of his panels not too long ago for something he made up out of whole cloth about Kennedy having a 10-year plan. And it's based on her not leaving. And it's like, you're an idiot. All right. And they called him, his panel called him out for it. So there you go. Anyway, back to our thing. So why do I call it Star Wars' Dead Derangement Syndrome? Well, when you've got someone like Gary, a Nerdrotic, constantly repeating that, and you know that that whole idea actually helps the woman in the picture more than anybody else, it becomes a thing like, stop it. Do you realize what you sound like? And it basically, I think, inhibits somebody from literally being a good fan. If you look at Star Wars theory, at least he cares about the franchise, right? He's built his brand up around it, and he's not letting it go. Let's talk more.
My head hurts.
That's your brain trying to comprehend its own stupidity.
I take it back. You're not unprofessional. You're a freaking loon.
5 seconds.
Come on, Roz, hurry up. I want to get out of here before her trainer shows up with a bucket of live mice for her pre-show feeding.
Oh, that explains why blood was pouring from all my faucets this morning.
Excuse me. I believe I asked you to put a chick in this and make her gay.
I thought one just drew a pentagram on the floor and chanted, "I summon thee," 3 times.
Not one more crooked word. Your tongue could open a wine bottle. As of now, Fraser Crane has...
Agent, it's not like she worships the devil.
Well, she doesn't have to. He worships her.
So, what's really going on here? Well, I think, first off, the more you say something, the more it becomes, supposedly becomes true. Even if it's a flat-out hyperbolic statement like Star Wars is dead. And it becomes a mantra. And I don't know what these people think. If they think they can, bankrupt Disney, which they can't. That's stupid. I don't know if they understand that or would allow themselves to watch things like Skeleton Crew and Ahsoka and Kenobi, which I thought was fine, and all 3 seasons of The Mandalorian in an objective way, but they didn't. Again, the more you say something, the more people think it's true. That is, Joseph Goebbels said that, and I swear to God, a lot of these YouTubers read up on basically indoctrinating the masses. Because, look, yesterday on Latino Slant, right after I left, a bunch of Star Wars is Dead trolls showed up and started attacking the chat and attacking Cameron and everybody in the chat. And it's like they were all sent over, like, via email Like somebody told them, hey, go there and disrupt the chat, and that's exactly what they did. Why? Well, there's money involved. There's personal, I don't know, issues with validation and reputation. And look, I don't think Nerdrotic gives a damn. All right, let's go back in the Wayback Machine. Was it last year? He jumped into the Mark Hamill has never met his granddaughter thing. And the story was the girl that Nathan got pregnant was a stripper in San Diego. She made it known to him she was pregnant. And Mark's wife, Mary Lou, said they would pay if she went to have an abortion. So she got in her car, drove to the place, and then turned around and drove away. She did not get an abortion. And the girl always said she was never looking for money, etc. She was accused of that by, I think, Mary Lou Hamill. Well, so Mark got a lot of shit for that. And then it got quiet. Nobody was really paying attention. And shit for it, rightly so, by the way. Anyway, Gary Nerdrotic decides to jump in. And then the girl, mom, jumps in and says, they've been seeing my daughter for well over a year now. Mark himself has said, I absolutely love having this kid around, blah, blah, blah. Making Gary Nerdrotic look stupid. This is the level of discourse and research the average YouTuber does before they open up their wide open yap. And this is why when Nerdrotic, starts chanting Star Wars is dead, Star Wars is dead, it's like, Gary, shut up, all right? And to no, Kennedy's dead, she's gone. She's already been gone. As far as we can tell from what our person Sparrow has said, she's been gone for a long time. In reality, she's not running Lucasfilm. And that's why when I call her the alleged president of Lucasfilm, the alleged leader, because look, Sparrow, they said yesterday that John was the one that was looking into helping Levy finish the show, Starfighter, not Kennedy. The last two Sparrow scoops that have come out, they have never said a word about Kathleen at all. So, why must we be talking about this? And I want to challenge their subscribers to ask them, if that's true, how come there was no sequel trilogy mentioned at the Galaxy Says Skywalker Saga video? And then I will leave you a link in the description so you guys can see the video, so you can show it to Gary, show it to WDW Pro, and challenge them. Challenge them to find new Rey merchandise that isn't repackaged with other more popular characters. Challenge them. Because you cannot make declarative statements without anything but hyperbole backing it up. It's right up there with Daisy was in Italy. They're filming a few scenes in Italy for Starfighter. Oh my God, Rey must be in Starfighter. That's called circumstantial evidence. What part of Italy was she in? Where were they filming? And the fuck are you talking about? Question mark. We just have to challenge them on this, right? Now, I'm going to warn you, these people do not like to be challenged. Trust me, the reason why Cameron got canceled is because of the fact that he challenged the hyperbolic and I would say intentional ignorance of the black pills at the big channels. And, you know, I don't care how many, times Pro says, we will look into this. We, who's we? He doesn't have anybody in Hollywood. He doesn't have anybody in Hollywood. And Jonah is not an investigative reporter. He's just a dude. Right? Same thing with Gary Neurotic. No one at Lucasfilm is going to talk to that guy. Ever. Right? So why do we let them fill our heads, at least their subscribers, with Star Wars' Dead Derangement Syndrome? And why does Kathleen Kennedy, live in your heads rent-free? It's time to let it go. And if you're such a moron that you didn't do your due diligence to figure out exactly who Matt Bellany is, and you think that he's nothing more than some sort of, Jeff Schneider wannabe rumor monger, you're a fucking idiot. Okay? If anybody's gonna know Kennedy's leaving, it's gonna be Bellany. Anyway, I gotta go. I wanted to say something, but it's time for Star Wars' Dead Syndrome to die. And it's time for the Kathleen Kennedy Derangement Syndrome to die too. Star Wars' Dead Derangement Syndrome is just stupid. And it's lazy, but when you look at the people puking that shit out there, why on earth would you expect anybody like that to have the energy to actually do their due diligence? It's not hard to do research. It really isn't. This is Steph signing out. See you around the galaxy.